Good afternoon. We'll call a regular meeting of the Newell Planning Commission to order. It is Thursday, November 30th, 2017, 4:30 p.m. Item 1 is approve the minutes from the October 26th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second approving the minutes as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 2, consider for approval the final plot of the Dreckman Second Edition.
Okay, the applicant property owner is Scott Dreckman on behalf of All Store Incorporated. Current legal description of the property is part of the northeast quarter, the southeast quarter of Section 13, Township 110 North, Range 31 West. Street address 2122 to 2136 North Highland Avenue. Zoning of the property, currently it's zoned R3, Multiple Family Residence District. It has been petitioned for rezoning to B2, Service Business District. The City Council at its November 7th, 2017 meeting approved the rezoning petition and directed the city attorney to prepare an ordinance for this purpose. The City Council conducted the first reading of the ordinance at its November 21st, 2017 meeting. Status of the plat. The City Council approved the preliminary plat with conditions at its November 7th, 2017 meeting. Background information. The applicant's property is located west of North Garden Street, County State Aid Highway 29, north of Carl Drive, and east of North Highland Avenue. Property is farmed. With the exception of a triangular piece of property owned by the City of New Ulm at the intersection of North Highland Avenue and North Garden Street, the applicant owns all of the property bounded by North Highland Avenue, North Garden Street, and Carl Drive. Comprehensive plan designates the property as business. City Council changed the land use designation from medium-density residential at its November 7th, 2017 meeting. Property to the east is designated business, to the north industrial, to the west and south as medium-density residential. Properties to the south and west are zoned R3, to the north R3 and I2, and to the east B2. Land uses to the south and north of the applicant's property consist of vacant and farm property, to the west vacant property and twin homes, and to the east storage facilities. The platted area totals 1.53 acres and consists of one lot. There are no lot area, lot depth, or lot width requirements in the B2 zoning district. The comprehensive plan does not designate a park within the platted area. Utilities to serve the site adjoin the property. In 2007, the city allowed the use of a meets and bounds legal description to sell 11.54 acres of property in this area. The sale included the subject property. A condition to this approval required the platting of the property prior to the issuance of a building permit for construction on the site. The status of conditions required for plat approval include the following. Pay the platting fee of $180. Now that payment is pending. Provide an electronic file of the plat in AutoCAD 2000 or newer format. That notification has been provided to the applicant and land surveyor. Provide a 10-foot wide utility public way easement along the east property line of the plat. That easement has been provided. And provide a letter describing how existing street assessments will be split between the new lot and the former parcel of property, and that letter is also pending. Attached is a copy of the final plat and an aerial photograph of the property. Staff would recommend approval of the final plat subject to the completion of the conditions. And then on the final page of the staff report, there are potential motions for the commission to make with regards to this matter. There's a motion to approve and a motion to deny.
Okay. What are your wishes?
I'll make the motion to recommend approval of the final plat of Dreckman Second Edition with the conditions listed.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second recommending approval of the final plot of the Dreckman Second Edition with the conditions provided. Any further discussion? Anyone? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 3, consider for approval a simple lot division of sublot C of lots 8 and 9, block 65 south of Center Street.
Okay, the applicant is Eric Bodie. The owner of the property is Roseanne Doomer. The street address of the property is 23 and 27 South Minnesota Street. Property is zoned B3 General Business District. Subject property is generally located north of First South Street and east of South Minnesota Street. This property has dimensions of 59 by 165, resulting in a total square footage of 9,735 square feet. The building on this property has a total of 7,080 square feet. The building has 2 storefronts. One has 3,600 square feet and is occupied by the Baccarat and Coffee Shop. The second has 3,480 square feet and is currently vacant. The property is for sale. The lot division would allow the owner to sell the 2 storefronts to two different owners, so it'd be separate ownerships allowed. The proposed legal descriptions would be as follows. Parcel A would be the northwesterly 29 feet of sublot C of lots 8 and 9, block 65 south of Center Street, City of New Ulm, Brown County, Minnesota. Parcel B would be sublot C of lots 8 and 9, block 65 south of Center Street, City of New Ulm, Brown County, Minnesota, except the northwesterly 29 feet. There are no lot area, lot width, or lot depth requirements in the B3 zoning district. There is one shared water and sanitary sewer service serving the 2 storefronts. The Public Utilities Commission has an easement to secure access to the utility facilities located at the rear of the property. Attached is the applicant's letter and then a map and legal description provided by Bolton and Mink. There are 2 aerial photographs, 2 ground level photographs, one from the front of the building and one from the rear of the building. And then there is a shared services and utilities agreement that was prepared by the owner. Recommendation. Staff would recommend approval of the simple lot division since it complies with city code requirements. This approval should be subject to the following conditions. A, the owner will record the resolution authorizing the lot division with the Brown County Recorder's Office. B, if the property is sold as 2 parcels, number 1, the owners will sign and record with the Brown County Recorder's Office a shared services and utilities agreement describing the responsibilities of each parcel owner for the maintenance of the shared utility services. And 2, the current owner will install the necessary building improvements required by the current Minnesota State Building Code in order to legally separate the storefronts. Potential motions, there's a motion to approve and a motion to deny.
We look at, my major concern is this one, to make sure that we've covered the utility issues. I do not want to see another issue like we had at the high school. So this needs to, in my mind, needs to be cut and dried now. Now, if I'm understanding what we just said, is water and the wastewater type thing are joint now, but the electric and the gas are separate?
That's my understanding.
Yeah. The Public Utilities Commission, their staff has been involved in discussions with regards to this particular request. And they find the proposed arrangement acceptable to them. Copies of the agreement were circulated to both the utilities and to the city attorney, and all found it to be suitable.
So that agreement, would that be a requirement for the sale? Or is that an optional?
No, it's a requirement if the property is sold as two parcels.
Okay. So if it stays the way it is now, there's no issue.
Yeah, there's no need for that second condition then.
Go
Is
ahead.
this actually two separate buildings? Or is it one?
It is. If you look at
The back,
the last picture in the back,
yeah.
somebody was thinking when they built it, because of that higher wall on the building next to it, we have our fire separation. There are a couple holes in the common wall that they will have to deal with, but for the majority of it, we've got our
Okay,
two separate buildings per the
It is.
building code, yeah.
okay.
So it brings up a new question then. If this were split, it would be down a common wall?
Correct, there's
And
a,
then they would be in compliance with any of the fire codes if they did that?
right, there's some small issues that we have to deal with, but for the majority of it, when I went and looked with it with Mr. Bodie, it's very close to being two separate buildings already.
And that's pretty common in downtown. I mean, they're all touching. Yeah.
Right, yeah, most of them have common walls, yes.
Should that be a requirement of our motion for approving the split?
I think it was
it
in there
meets all-
that it'd be brought up to the building code, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reads, "The current owner will install the necessary building improvements required by the current Minnesota State Building Code in
Okay.
order to legally separate the storefronts."
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? Motion to approve or deny?
I would move to recommend the approval of the simple lot division of sublot C of lots 8 and 9, Block 65 south of Center Street with conditions.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second recommending approval with the conditions presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 4 would be receive a copy of ordinance number 17-022, amending the city code to combine the Board of Zoning Adjustment with the Planning Commission.
Okay, I just wanted to provide you with a status report on this matter. As you may remember, the Board of Zoning Adjustment recommended the transfer of its duties and responsibilities to the Planning Commission, and that was done at the October 26th meeting. City Council accepted that recommendation and directed the city attorney to prepare an ordinance for that purpose. The Planning Commission approved a motion stating that the transfer was basically acceptable to them and something they thought was appropriate, and the council received that particular notice and ordered it filed. The first reading of the ordinance was read at the City Council's November 21st meeting. The second reading and the vote on the ordinance will take place at the December 5th City Council meeting. So you will find attached a copy of ordinance 17-22, and basically what that does is wherever there previously was a reference to Board of Zoning Adjustment, it now reads Planning Commission. And I should note that effective with the January meeting of the Planning Commission, that body will assume any variance requests at that time. So there's still the possibility that we could have a Board of Zoning Adjustment meeting, a separate meeting in December, but that would be the last one.
But once the change is made, the title will be just the Planning
Planning
Commission, not
Commission.
Planning and Zoning?
No, just Planning Commission.
Okay. Any comments on that?
We should probably have a motion then just to receive the report and order it filed.
I'll offer a motion to receive the copy of the report, the ordinance number 17-022, amending the city code to combine the Board of Zoning Adjustment with the Planning Commission.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second recommending approval of ordinance 17-22, amending the city code as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any other report for city council decisions concerning the planning commission?
Okay, at the council's November 7th meeting, some of this is going to be repetitive. They received the recommendation on the Board of Zoning Adjustment. They approved all of the requests that Scott Dreckman had made, so that was the comp plan amendment, the rezoning, the conditional use permit, and the preliminary plat. At the November 21st meeting, they had the first reading of the rezoning for the Dreckman property, and then also the first reading of the Board of Zoning Adjustment being combined with the Planning Commission. One other thing that I want to advise you of, and that is that we did give you I gave you some bad information with regards to the Dreckman request. Staff indicated that the zoning of the property, that was a portion of which was being rezoned to B2. I think we indicated that those houses were being constructed prior to that zoning change, when in fact the opposite is what took place. So the plat of the Minnesota River Valley subdivision was submitted in June of '05. The rezoning of the property across the street took place in September of '04. So the platting and the zoning of the platting took place after the property across the street was zoned to B2. So that means that the building permits were all issued after, when that property was zoned B2. It was then after those building permits were issued and those residents were up, then the property was rezoned to R3. So what I indicated was kind of the opposite of that. So I just wanted to correct that. That takes care of that.
Okay. Anything from the Heritage Preservation people?
We did not have any items for a meeting this month, but tomorrow the Thomas Zahn will be down. He is updating the downtown design guidelines. So we're having a meeting with him tomorrow morning. That's it.
Okay.
I have one additional item, if I could add, and that is that we've received a request for a item to be on the December Planning Commission meeting. The December Planning Commission meeting is December 28th. I'll probably have Missy poll everybody to see if it's the last Thursday of the month, so to see if we can get a quorum. Because it is a public hearing, so we have to send notice out.
for some reason or other, if we can't get a quorum for the 28th, can that date be changed, or are we locked into that date?
No, the date could be changed.
Okay.
We've done that in the past.
Okay.
So we would try to do that if that's the case.
Okay. Anything from the commission? Anything you want to bring up? Nothing? No further business? Meeting adjourned.